Hi everyone, Soulsword17 here, looking for as usual. I don't know in this picture, not a paid video, and I think that's the person's name. So that's the person who made the picture, I guess. I don't really know, but I just don't own it. If you guys are wondering why did I choose this thumbnail, basically it's 3:12 in the morning, and I've been pissed off for the past couple of days. Well, because I thought I had of my solo level in Deku part 14, I believe, or some the next part. Yeah, the next part was done. Like I finished it. I thought I did, and I didn't upload it because I got into Monster Hunter World, trying to get higher ranking in there, and yeah. So I try to upload it Friday or Wednesday, I forget when, and well, it was not saved. I was pissed, and I was like, you know what? No, I'm not. I'm not fucking working on it again. No, I'll just. By that I mean I'm not gonna work on it again. I mean I was not gonna work on a again until I figure out why. So, and then I'm gonna work on it again. But I mean, I made it like almost an hour and 30 minutes. So, I mean, I was pissed. I mean, I actually did a pretty good job in it. So, reason why this is being made, I was just like, Ultron. How powerful is he? So, I looked up some stuff about Ultron, and I'm like, Ultron Deku. So, what if it's gonna be about is neglection, sort of abuse, kind of. I mean, I'm not really gonna make it. It's not like it's Inko's fault. Hisashi, number one hero of the world, and um, Izumi's quirk. I mean, this is Marvel mixed with My Hero Academia. So, don't you think there also would be mutants? Mutant genes along with quirks. You know, by mean what that mean is it's a hybrid with a quirk and a mutant gene without ever knowing. So yeah, that's a hint. So basically, and this may also incorporate where he Inko put him in a marriage, a forced marriage, basically with Bakugo's twin sister. Yes, I'm bringing Katsumi in, but as a twin sister. And no, he is gonna be Ultron, but he's gonna be like it's not gonna be a cyborg. Basically, he's gonna still have his humanity. He's gonna have the Ultron virus. I kind of had this idea, and I thought it would not be a possible and stupid idea. I thought about this because I was pissed. So I didn't think of that. Next thing I found out, there was a tech story where Deku became Ultron, but it was biotechnology. So I thought, huh, why not just do it that way? So, boom. I decided to make this what if now. Because I think it'll work. Alright. So, yeah, this is what if Deku was Ultron. Or, no, became Ultron. Basically, like I already said, Izuku is quirkless. Straight up quirkless. This is Marvel mixed with, My Hero Academia. And Izumi which I forgot to mention, is about Izuku has two siblings. Izuku's the youngest by, well, Uzumi was the firstborn, so she's 2 minutes ahead of Izuku, basically, Uzuko. So, and then Izuku was the last born, so he was like 2 minutes, sister. 2 minutes later, Izuko, and then Zuko. He's 4 minutes behind, you know, behind his sister, and he's 2 minutes behind his brother. So yeah. So anyways, so basically, they find out Izuku's quirkless, and well, Hisashi was already gone, but Inko told him the news. He's like, "Oh, okay," which he's like, "What? You're not mad or upset?" He's like, "No." So what if my son's quirkless? I mean, he's real. I mean, that just means he may have some potential, something that we don't know about. Besides, our son will be very strong. Inko is still Inko, but she was a pro hero too, and she did like retire because she had children. Because Hasashi's number one hero of the world, so she thought it would be better if she retired. So, Inko has a very strong telekinesis quirk. Izumi is born with telekinesis. Izuku is born with pyrokinesis. Everything that happens to Deku in canon happens, but Katsumi and Bakugo, siblings, basically. Bakugo bullies Deku way more because, Izumi and Izuku help. Katsumi does bully him too. And, well, let's just go to a specific moment in this what if. You see, Izumi is bullying Deku at, Izuku is outside along with, Izuku is inside sleeping. Izumi's bullying on Deku. Inko sees this. She's like, she runs down and goes, "Izumi, why are you picking on your little brother?" And basically, in her mind, because she thinks Bakugo's the greatest, she has a little crush on him. She goes, "He's Deku. He's useless." Which Inko, in her mind, is thinking, "No, he's not." So she's like yelling at Izumi and everything else. But then Izumi says again, "He's useless. He's Deku. He has no quirk. Why should I not pick him on like this?" And for some reason, Inko's about to say something, but instead she says, "You're right. He is." So Izuku's shocked, but Inko's like thinking, like in her head, like, what the? It's like for some reason this isn't her, but she's seeing what's happening, and well, she leaves Izuku to get picked on, and this goes on every fucking day of his life. Like I said, this has a little bit of abuse. It's sibling abuse, not mother neglecting from Inko, abuse from siblings. So basically, his life got progressively worse, like legit, really bad. And well, Bakugo and Zumi were dating. Izuku is, well, likes Katsumi. Katsumi doesn't even give him the attention. And Katsumi's bullying is not really bad. It's like she has somewhat similar quirk to her brother, but she basically can touch something and with a snap of a finger it'll explode. Or she could just send an explosion, into the ground, which then it can travel and it will explode then. So, her bullying of Izuku is not bad, actually. Like, there was this one time where she was arguing with Izumi, saying that was enough, and again, some reason Izumi was getting what she wants. Like, this has always constantly been happening to Izuku. which has never been fair, which Katsumi hates it. She hates bullying him because she really does care about Izuku. Yeah, she's in love with him. And his personality has become almost nothing. He doesn't even... Anytime they're around, he's always just gone. Like, he just disappears, like, out of nowhere. And this pisses off sometimes Bakugo, Izumi, and Izuku. Katsumi's always happy. So, our story is nearly getting there. Well, it has been starting, but our story to the main point's coming along. So, basically, on the final day of middle school, Deku basically runs away from home. Like, he basically had enough of everything. When Bakugo told him to kill himself, he just had enough. He basically... Bakugo, like, he basically asked All Might the exact same thing. Bakugo nearly died because he saw Izuku just look at him with a cold, dead stare, which terrified him almost. Like, it legit terrified Bakugo as Izuku just walked past. All Might save Bakugo, but because Izuku just looks at him. Like, Deku just looks at All Might. He goes like, "Some hero you are." You ain't gonna save that kid? Wow. Number one, my ass. Which All Might was shocked, because this kid that he broke the dreams just suddenly looked different. Like, empty almost. And Katsumi saw his, just watching her brother get suffocated. All Might clenches his fist saying he's right. What hero am I? He inspired, even though Izuku's words were harsh, this inspired All Might to go, back into buff form and save Bakugo. All Might, though, in this one, after saving Bakugo, he doesn't go to Izuku to become the, all for one. Not all for one for all successor. Because he feels like Izuku was the right choice. But he himself feels like he was a failure. He failed him. And even if he goes for him, he knows he couldn't do nothing for him to take the quirk and become the successor. So, All Might legit just looked into the background information of Izuku Midoriya. And, yeah, that's what he's doing at the moment. He's doing all-nighter, doing this. So, that night, well, when Izuku gets home, though, actually going with the story, he doesn't even say something at all. He just basically walks in. He saw his mom cooking. She looks at him, and for a minute, he could see a smile on her face, but he doesn't understand why. And he really just walks back to his room. And when he closes the door, he puts his bag, back on his bed, opened it up, and just dumped out everything. He just says, "Can't believe I'm actually lived here all my life. It's finally get to leave this hellhole. Well, my mom isn't bad, but she neglects me because of Izumi and Izuku. No dad around either. What the fuck? Whatever, it doesn't matter." After, as he looks at the time, it's already like 4 something. He's like, "When they're eating, I'll escape. And then I'll get out of here." So, he packs up his things, which is very little. He has enough clothes, and that's it. He doesn't really care about food. He learned to scrounge food from anywhere, really. Sorry. Just... whatever. Just, there's some stuff, but anyways. So, when Izumi and Izuku get back, Izumi was in tears, which Inko asked, "What's wrong, sweetie?" And she goes, "Bakugo almost died. Katsuki almost died." And basically, Izuku just was silent. He didn't know what to do either. He was like, I had pyrokinesis, and yet I didn't do anything to save my best friend. And then he's thinking, then he remembers. Bakugo says, Izuku, let me to die. Which, basically, Izuku just walks up to Izuku's, without his mom or sister. No, he's just walking up to Izuku's room. And he opens up the door, he sees Izuku. Basically, just, like, Izuku still is, like, has his canon look, but there's a lot more burn marks and everything on him, which he never hid the fact that he had them. He stopped caring them. Like, he didn't care if they got in trouble or people asked him. He just told him it was none of his business. So, Izuku looks at him and he didn't realize how much marks he had on him. And he just looks at Izuku and was like, what do you want, Midoriya? He's like, why you let Bakugo die? He goes, I'm a quirkless nobody, like you guys keep on telling me. As Izuku turned around, put on his shirt, and he's just walking up to him. But Izuku's getting pissed, and he goes like, so what do you want me to do, huh? Go risk my life for a useless nobody? Which he goes like, Bakugo ain't useless! And this is when Izuku just had enough. He goes, I never really thought of this, but how are quirkless people weak compared to people with quirks? If Izuku has fire, they kind of explain his quirk. He's allowed to have fire come out of any part of his body, and he's able to manipulate it. So before he even does, when he's about to, have fire come off of him and manipulate it, he just throws a punch into his brother. Izuku throws a punch into his brother's face, breaking his nose, though. That's the thing. Izuku's fueled by rage, so he breaks his brother's nose. And, well, when he goes back to the wall, Izuku runs up, he just, literally just runs up to him, grab him by his head, and pull him down to where he just needs him in the stomach. And then, well, he just slams his brother into the wall, basically. Which, he does scream out in pain. And Izuku just goes and grabs his bag, and he goes, you never were my brother, nor this is my family. If I find out anything, though, about how you would say, oh, I'm just a villain, or I'm a nobody, that's fine. Because what does a villain do most of all in this world? He lies and cheats his way through life. You only got stronger because I helped you. I was your punching bag. So, remember that, Izuku Midoriya. Hold on. As Izuku goes to his window, Deku goes to his window, opens up, and he sees a tree branch, there. Basically has a tree, basically. It's not that apartment, I forgot to mention it was a house. So he does jump to the tree branch, gets onto it, goes to the tree and just climbs down, and proceeds to leave the backyard. By this time, when Izuku already left, the backyard, because he was moving quickly, he ain't no fool, Inko and, Izumi looks at Izuku as Izuku was riled up by Izuku's words, because all that time, he really was not looking at him like he was someone that he knew. Deku was looking at his own brother like he was just no one. Not a single thing. He didn't care what happened to him. Meanwhile, while this is going on, we go over to the Bakugo residence. Mitsuki's talking to Bakugo as, her husband basically is talking to him too. And, Katsumi's shaken up by her brother almost dying. But Mitsuki says, oh, this is about time Inko should be telling him. Which Katsumi, Bakugo are going like, what the? So, Bakugo looks at his mom and is like, what are you saying, old hag? Which, she basically just tells him to shut it, and she looks at Katsumi. He was like, sweetie, I have something to tell you that me and, well, Inko talked about a long time ago. And she goes, really, Mom? Basically. So she tells him about the arranged marriage, basically, between them. Bakugo goes like, what? My sister's not dating that quirkless loser. Why not? Izuku. Which, well, Mitsuki just looks at her son and be like, he has a horrible personality. And he's arrogant. Just like you. I do not want my little girl to date someone like that. Which Bakugo just scoffs a little, but he's thinking, that is right, but Deku's not the same. Which Katsumi's happy, but quite terrified. Because, well, she says she has to go, and she runs up to her room. She goes for a drawer, and she takes out the phone. Well, she has two phones. One phone is a regular phone, and another phone she asked her mom to buy, and gave to Deku. Well, basically put a note on Deku's desk saying that she's a girl that likes him and she can't come in person because she's a part of a different class. So here's my number. My name is Rias. So basically, Izuku and her have been texting, and well, she starts texting Deku, and Deku does have his phone on him, so he answers. He hears sees him his text. He goes, I wonder what she wants. So Izuku's thinking about the messages that they always said, and well, basically, she even confessed to him that she liked him, and it has not been going on this long. They've been together, so it's been like this. It's been only like 2 months since they've been together, and she goes, "Babe, I need to tell you something. I just found out something that you need to know. Please promise me you won't hate me for this." And he just says, "Okay." So she does. Well, she calls him, and before he even answers, though, I mean, he has to shut it off because he heard someone screaming. So he does turn off his phone real quick, puts it in his pocket. Actually, no, he basically tells her, he basically denied the call, but then texts her saying, I just heard something. I gotta go. Sorry. Talk to you later, babe. And then, turns off the phone and hides. What he sees is a villain. And let's just say, a villain from Marvel that's one of Spider-Man villains. Why not? Dr. Octopus. No, wait, no. No. Avengers, I forgot to mention, have been around. Everything's been like 100 years or so. Yes. Yeah, it is Dr. Octopus, but his great-grandchild, basically, ancestor. There are basically ancestors to this. Like, X-Men have, grandchildren, and then, great-grandchildren, all that, descendants of them. Like Tony Stark, Hulk, Ant-Man, Hawkeye, Falcon. Yeah. Captain America, Black Widow, Black Panther, Storm. And Mystique, Charles Xavier, and Magneto. So basically, just so you guys know, basically, that's how the world is. There are mutants, there are quirks, they are basically quirkless. Yeah. So, yeah, I could see one of the ancestors of Dr. Octopus just basically being there in Japan because of a equipment that he needs to defeat the current Spider-Man of New York. In which they basically saying like, where is it? And he's like, I'll never tell you. You have to kill me. He was like, that could be arranged, my friend. Now, tell me where it is, or I'll have to extract the information out of you one way or as well, he hears a noise of a trash can lid coming off, and he looks over. He sees Izuku. Izuku was like, "Ah, shit!" As one of the arms from Doctor Octopus grabs Izuku, and well, he was like, he looks at the man, and he was like, "So, do you have children, Mister Mark? Like, Mister Kiyoshi? I don't know, like no, Kitsune, like not Kitsune, Kitsuo." He's like, "What is it to you?" Like, I have this boy's life in my hands, and if I so want, I can easily kill him. I mean, he is around 14. He has a long life to have, and well, I'm already an adult. He's 19 only. He's 19. So, he looks at Izuku, and he was like, and he does have he does have kids, so they're about his age too. He's like, okay, fine, I'll tell you. He was like, great. Now, he tells him the information where this piece of equipment is. He was like, thank you. As he throws Izuku to a wall, well, not froze, bashes Izuku into a wall, then into another wall, into a dumpster, and back into another wall. Basically, he's been hitting his back, his side, but not his left side, his right side, his back again, and then threw him back, hitting his right side, which breaks multiple bones, fractures, and well, the guy says, I told you everything! He goes, but I never said I'll let him leave without broken bones, now did I? As he takes the man with him, as well, this is when some pro heroes do arrive, but it's only two, so they follow him. Follow Dr. Octopus. While this is going on, though, some drones come by as they were scanning the area. As when they find Izuku, well, Deku basically, basically, one of them said, one of the not one of them, both of them have a voice saying perfect. So they basically go to Izuku, pick him up with some wires coming out of them, and start flying away with him. They're going all the way over to into the mountains. Not into the mountains, yeah, it's into the mountains, but it's like an old site, like old laboratory of Tony Stark. So, we're basically not really a laboratory slash shop slash Iron Man building facility. So yeah. So basically, as this does take a couple of minutes to get there, as when they put Izuku down on the table, a basically a figure with that's leaning on something and walking with it, rusty, old, and missing an arm and leg, does come over. He goes, a human body. Good age to the current Avengers. Well, I mean, their grandchildren that can use this to become, well, stronger. I'll have you infect him with, well, Ultron virus and turn him into a machine. So that way I can transfer my consciousness to him. But I wonder, why is he so beaten? As he ponders on this, thinking if he should or not. Basically, if we go, I think it's basically, I'm not going with the comics. The movie's better, but the Avengers. So I know he was basically, if we go by the comics, logic, he was built. One of the creators I know he was Ant-Man. So I'm just saying this one, Ant-Man helped build him. along with Tony Stark and Bruce Banner. So this is just the movie slash comic version, but without anyone else besides Ant-Man, Tony, and Bruce building Ultron. So because of this, he does have the curiosity of Stark and Bruce. So he does say, my creators, unfortunately, gave me this curiosity to always question and figure out something. Let's see what this pathetic skinbag have. So he does have a he does basically have a chair come over to him, as then he basically sits down in it. Has his crutch leaning against the table where Izuku's on, and touches Izuku's forehead. He's basically connecting himself to Izuku's brain to download all the information of Izuku's memories. And through these memories, he basically sees all his pain, all his suffering, everything that has ever happened to me, ever happened to him, not me, but ever happened to him that was unfair and unjust. And at the end of it, he realizes there's water coming off his, out of his, eyes, basically. And he goes, what? Am I leaking oil? And he touches it, and he sees his tears. Actual tears. And he was like, impossible. I'm a robot. How am I? No, it's not possible, is it? As he does ponder, he's still having it, pondering on why he's crying, and the image of Izuku keeps coming in his head of his pain and him feeling it, and he just says finally, after all these years, I gain emotions from this boy's memories. And he has suffered too much. It's not his fault for not being born without a quirk. So, Ultron decides, after a few minutes of him just sitting there, he says, I can help him. His body's broken. Scanner said he has multiple fractures, and one of his ribs is punctured his lung. He'll die if no one saves him in time. I was gonna infect him with the Ultron virus, but maybe I can change the code. Yes. I'll be better if I do. So, he gets to a computer and starts typing away on it. And and while this is going on, he's using whatever parts he can to rebuild his body. Well, the parts that were broken. Because the reason why you guys are wondering why he's all rusted, because one, the new Iron Man, basically female, great granddaughter of Tony Stark. Well, Iron Woman, I mean, not Iron Man, but Iron Woman is hit him with a ray to basically make him obsolete and him old and rusted. And they were able to somewhat defeat him, but there was a problem. He escaped through teleportation, and then he gets to this place, and he was looking for he was looking for someone new to basically turn him, to basically transfer his consciousness into them by turning him into a robot. So, because of him not doing this, to him changing this program into change Izuku's body to be, biotechnology. And it's bioorganic, so he'll still be a human, but he'll also be technology, and give him a few of well, give him more abilities than what Ultron would have. Because he's thinking, it's better off if he's, not 100% like him. Because in his mind now, he's thinking he can make this boy his successor for a good cause. Because he has cost countless of lives, millions of lives gone or died to him. And since he has emotions now, he knows what he did was wrong, but he accepts it for what he did. He will not deny the fact or say it was an act of peace. Him thinking he has a higher sense of intelligence, and being stronger than humans was, well, he was the next generation. But just like him, he was created by humans, and even his logic, even he himself, and his logic was flawed. So, he thinks by making this boy his successor, he could change the world in some way or form. But he does find Izuku's phone. He basically sees not many people's numbers, contacts, or anything, just one. And he knows about Katsumi, Bakugo's, Izuku's, and, Zumi's, well, what they've done to him. Inko just neglects him because, well, from his memories, it was weird. So he finds out about this Rias girl. He knows from his memories that this is technically his girlfriend for 2 months. So he looks into the contact, tries to find out who she is, so that way he can go find her and find out it's Katsumi. And he's thinking, why is she? Is this some game to her? As what he then, what then he just notices, she's basically texting him constantly, like saying, where are you? What's going on? Come on, answer me, please, please. Just saying Izuku, multiple times until it stopped. And it's been a couple hours while Ultron was on the computer, so he basically, hacks into, he hacks into a nearby electronic, but then he transfers, he keeps on going all the way till he finds Katsumi Bakugo's address. He finds it, gets into that phone she was texting him, texting Izuku on, and he sees multiple things. First, some notes on how she's feeling, which to him is kind of shocking because she is hating herself, first of all. And then he finds a plan, which she basically said, find out I was in a marriage with Izuku, forced marriage with him. I'm okay with this, so here's my plan when I see him. Or tell him who I am, and it's basically have Midoriya's stay away from him, have Bakugo stay away from him, and just try to show him the kindness he deserves and needs, even willing not to become a hero, and stay by Izuku's side, basically. Which surprises Ultron, and she even sees a video that she worked on in a few minutes, she worked on, and he realized she sent the video. And surprise, surprise, she basically is pleading with Izuku to answer the phone, text her back. I know it's me, Katsumi, I'm Rias. Yeah, I don't care, but please just text me back. Basically, I need to know you're okay, but, basically, just that. That's what I was gonna say, basically. So, which, Ultron's like humans. So emotional, but I can understand why. It seems that from her voice pattern, she's not lying. She's really worried about him. So, he basically gets back to his body. And he's, working on the virus. And it wasn't hard to change it. He just had to add a couple of new components into it. And there was something that he needed that, well, only someone could help him with. You see, excuse me, the whole entire Thanos did happen, with the snap and everything, but the only difference is they were able to retrieve the Mind Stone and bring back Vision. So, he basically sends a message to Vision. And Vision is thinking, why is Ultron? And, he's at home, he's just there, he's just at home basically, and he's thinking this. And so he answers the message with a call, which he basically told him to call this number if you want to talk. So he calls in that number, which he finds out is in Japan, and he goes, Ultron? He goes, hello there, Vision. It's been a while. Look, I know we are enemies, but as of today, I'll be out of commission soon. Which, he goes, what? He goes, so Ultron says, well, Iron Woman, the Stark's grandchild, Melissa Stark. Yes, Melissa is Tony Stark's granddaughter. Hold on. Alright. So basically, as I was saying, like I said, Melissa is Melissa Stark. Yeah. Well, technically, she's S.H.I.E.L.D., but she is a Stark. So basically, he does saying that blast she hit me with, well, as you know, it russes me, basically. It aged me. And since you took down all my backup units and soldiers, I have no choice in the matter, I thought, but to turn a human into a robot with the Ultron virus. But something happened. Which Vision's like, what do you mean? It's like, I gain emotions. And I don't have long vision. I don't have long at all. Probably a day or two. So, to save a boy's life, you need to hurry to Japan. These are the locations. This is the coordinates or slash location of the place. Hurry. Which Vision is like, what? What the hell's going on? So, he does come over. He does come to Japan, but he brings a few things with him that, well, he thinks he may need. So, when he gets there, he sees the place. It's old and abandoned, and he's thinking, "Huh, Stark really does build stuff to last for a very long time." And he gets into the facility. He just sees, and kind of like a miniature leg, like a leg, but it doesn't look like it's supposed to fit on Ultron's body, but it's still working along with an arm. He goes, Vision, you arrived. Did you take up the tracker device on the ship? Which Vision just looks at him and was like, of course you didn't. They're coming here, aren't they? He does nod. So, where's the boy? As he points over to Izuku still on the table. He goes, he's been here for the past 16 hours. His lung is pierced by one of his lungs pierced by one of his ribs. Basically, it's a slow, painful death. But I've been, trying to keep the blood flow into his body and out of his lung. So, let me guess. You brought the reality stone with you? Which he does nod. And he has it in the container. I was supposed to keep it there. He goes, I'm still surprised after your jump through time and space that, not you, I mean, the old Avengers, they were able to do this. uh, and Ultron, and Vision looks at him and he goes, so? He goes, oh, I never got to thank you for letting me live after, well, all this time. And he goes, you caused countless deaths. He goes, I know. But through him, maybe my mistakes can be fixed. Which Vision goes, what do you mean? He was like, he will be my successor, Vision. The one to, well, change the world. And for the better, not for the worse. He deserves it after all. So, basically, with the power of the Reality Stone, Ultron basically, takes the container. He puts his hand touching the Reality Stone, absorbing it, and well, when he basically gets there, Melissa and the new Avengers, basically our teens, they are there, and they see him with the Reality Stone, and he just puts his hand over the boy, over Deku, as well as to say, Ultron! As, Vision stops her and says, let him. He needs to save this boy. Which, one of them, basically, Hawkeye's great-grandchild, slash someone else's, great-grandchild is like, what do you mean? He's basically our enemy. Which Melissa, you know, Jarvis basically says, ma'am, the boy's life is in danger. If Ultron does whatever he's gonna do, it may save him. Which she goes, but he may. And before even anything happens, boom. The light from the Reality Stone shoots into Izuku's body. Basically, the Reality Stone as we know it, as I know it, well, you guys know it better than me. What I know is it can change reality. It's in the name, Reality Stone. So basically, from the Thanos movie, he basically was able to change the landscape to everyone thinking like, oh, it was all perfectly fine in the movie. When at Thanos and Infinity War, basically he changed the area around, and then with a snap of a finger, it changed to what it was really like, even turning someone into blocks. So, yeah, so I'm basically thinking with this, him, using the Ultron virus to basically, with the Reality Stone, it changes Zuku's body. It's basically, he's becoming bio-organic. In which, because of this is happening, there's, well, he looks like he's still Izuku, but different. His hair becomes silver, his eyes are red. His body gets a little bit more muscular, and he becomes a little bit more taller. He does have some lines on his face, just like the Ultron lines from his eyes down to his face, and, well, he will have, looks like he has, lines on his arms, but all his limbs are coated in adamantium with adamantium and vibranium. Ultron's making him to be more durable than the strongest metals in the world, so that way he can never be destroyed. To basically live longer, even have some abilities different. It is all from his mind of what he will want for Izuku to have. So, I will basically list off Ultron's abilities. Just need a moment to get a drink. Okay, so basically, when I'm giving Izuku as his normal, what I read, Ultron's abilities: superhuman speed, superhuman strength, superhuman durability, the power of flight. Basically, one of them was a traction beam. Hold on, let me double check. Tractor beam, energy absorption, Also, a another beam, but I think I'm gonna say it wrong because I was trying to read it. Basically, it puts his people into a death-like state. So it is called a cephalor beam, um, an energy. Yeah, we said energy absorption. There's another one, but I think that has to do with nuke. But since Izuku will be bioorganic, it won't matter. Basically, memory, sensory ability. Need to check. Yeah, memory support, multi support. I think techno something. Um, techno forming and power supply. Basically, his power supply is really just him just eating regular food. But anyways, if I miss any of the abilities, I'm adding some of my own stuff to him. So yeah, but that's gonna be like probably later on in different what ifs. Like he doesn't really have to upgrade himself. He just really just you'll see what's happening. So basically, after that, everyone just sees Izuku and they're just shocked as Ultron then removes the stone from his hand and gives it back. Puts it back in the container and give it back to Vision. So Vision just asks, "Will he wake up?" Which Ultron does not. I hope he does. So he looks at the current Avengers. He goes, "Take a seat. Allow me to explain the situation. And no, I will not attack. My systems are, well, obsolete at the moment." So they do sit, and they can tell Ultron's not lying. They say about Melissa does look around, and she sees that this could, he could basically fix himself with this. And he goes, "No, Melissa Shield, I cannot fix myself. Because of that beam you hit me with, it's making my, processors and components age very, very quickly. I'm not going to be able to live longer than 2, maybe 1 more day. But this boy is different. He still is human, but with technology being a part of him. His skeleton is mixed between vibranium and adamantium, along with his, skin is also mixed with that. Basically, has most of my abilities. Not all, but most. So, he's not really much of a dangerous threat to all of you, if he chooses to not be one. So, as soon as before anyone could say anything, they hear Izuku just groan. He's like, "Okay, that hurts." As he pull himself up, as then he looks and he sees Ultron, Vision, Melissa, and the new Avengers. By the way, Melissa just will be a friend. I'm not kidding. She just will be a friend. And he just says, "Where am I? What happened?" And wait, are you the Avengers? Wait, he's just looking at Ultron. He's blinking. He goes, "Ultron, #1 villain of the world. What's going on here?" As Ultron tells him, "Allow me to explain the situation." So, he tells him everything that happened. And he goes, "Thanks. Wait, will I still be able to bleed?" He goes, "Yes, you can still have children and you still can bleed. It'll just be very hard. Because, technically you can choose to bleed or not." He's like, okay, what do you mean by that? So he explained what he did to Izuku. Then he goes like, so I'm technoganic. I'm technology mixed with basically being human. Yes, Ultron just says. So, while you were knocked out, well, technically unconscious, and your blood was in your lungs. I wanted to see, well, who your great grandfather was, or someone in your family. And that's the thing. Somehow, in some way, your family is a mix between quirks and mutants. Well, your mother's side is. Which Izuku goes like, huh? You see, he basically, pulls up the names of who from the X-Men, who is like the strongest person with telekinesis. He goes, Charles Xavier. Basically, one of the smartest people of the X-Men, the leader of the school, who basically was teaching mutants to coexist in society with normal people. It seems your sister has a variant version of his abilities, his mutant gene, mixed with a quirk. She basically can control people's mind and will without her even knowing, or she does know by now, and she uses this to her advantage. As for your memories, I saw she's basically been doing that. She did it when she was younger, probably to your mother, and the reason why she neglects you all this time. Which Izuku is still sitting down and he's thinking about it. He remembered all the times this happened, whereas then we always got what she wanted, no matter how stupid it was of the argument. He's just thinking, oh, she's gonna pay. And he then basically one of the Avengers, let's just say Ant-Man's, grandchild, just says like, so wait, okay, so basically you turn this kid into biotechnology, and you're not even telling him anything about his abilities, and we're just finding out that he's, I guess, a mutant. And Ultron looks at him and goes like, not all families have mutants of multiple children. There can only be one or two, maybe, depending how strong the mutant gene is in them. Seems like he has somewhat, I believe, of it, but it's dormant. But who knows? Further tests will have to be conducted by himself. But she was like, okay, hold up. So, what do you mean? I know about mutants, but mutant gene? Come on. My mom's was an ex-pro hero. So, how is it that she would have the mutant gene? How far would it have increased her telekinesis? Ultron just looks at Vision. Vision just looks at Ultron. And they do say, very much strong. To the point where it just seems like she can lift up buildings. Which Izuku just pauses, thinks about it, then questions everything he thought about his mom. So, he goes, okay, so can you tell me some of my abilities? Then Ultron, he's like, sure. So he tells him the ones I just said. Then he says, well, because I wanted you to fix whatever you can, you also can detect when someone's brainwashed. You can also be not affected by this. You can basically disrupt that too. And, well, since I upgraded you to become more than what you were, I did enhance some more, well, things. Basically, the elements you can use to your advantage. you also can create anything you want through nanotechnology and 3D printing, which Izuku just looks at him like, wait, I'm a walking 3D printer? He's like, uh-huh. Along with this, you can also shapeshift your body into any way you want. Which Izuku just look at him like, you gotta be kidding me. He's like, nope. Also, you may want to check your phone and do not get pissed. Which he does. He sees a video of Katsumi, but but before he watches the video, Ultron says, look at all the text messages. As he just sees when he said he had to go, he heard something and then says bye to her. He then sees her, panicking, ask him to, text back, call back, whatever, just do something. And then the video, and he doesn't know how to feel. He did like her, but the bullying, he doesn't know now. He didn't know. So, Ultron just tells him, well, first off, before you go back home, download all the information from this computer here, and, well, you'll somewhat have all the knowledge you need to know. Which Izuku was like, how do I just... As then his eyes glows, and all of a sudden, he just starts... they just start seeing blue, and then he blinks, and he was like, holy crap, that's a lot of information. Wait, was that half your memory bank in there? Which he does not. He goes, change everything for the better, Izuku Midoriya. Don't follow my path. Become a hero or a villain. I hope you choose to become a hero. With these powers and abilities, you can change the world. Which Izuku's looking at him, shocked that the number one villain is telling him this. The world number one villain. Like, the Avengers is a team of heroes put together, but they're only teens. If you're wondering why the older Avengers are not, there, because they're with Hasashi on a mission. Vision basically said they the ones who fought him and turned him into what he was, and he had to flee. So, right around this time, though, the Avengers, they're arguing, the current Avengers, basically. There's the teen Avengers, but then there's the current Avengers. The current Avengers arrive with Hasashi. Hasashi and the Avengers sees Ultron, and, Vision, as basically, he just says, it looks like the number one hero, Blackfire's here. Because Hasashi's flames are, can go into black flames to burn anything to ash. So, Izuku looks over as Hasashi sees Izuku, and he goes, who is he? He goes, oh, change your form as your previous one, to show him. And then he changes back into Izuku, where Hasashi's saying, what did you do to my son? As Vision says, he saved his life, as Izuku changes back into his, taller, silver hair, red eyes form, which Hasashi goes, huh? So, he goes, Ultron looks and goes like, show him your memories. You can. And he does. Including Ultron telling him about who Inko's grandfather was, and what he can do. Basically, and just was shocked. So, the Avengers look at Ultron. Ultron says he will come in willingly to them. He only has a couple of probably days before his systems go to obsolete. Which, since which Melissa's mother is, again, Melissa's, mom is is another one of Tony Stark's, grandchildren, so another Iron Woman. So basically, it's gonna be Melissa will take her place in the Avengers. So basically, they're training their children to become the new Avengers, that sort of thing. But basically, anyways, so Hisashi looking at Izuku, telling him how sorry he is and he should have been there. But Izuku sees what Hisashi's been through for his memories already while he was showing them his. He just says, like you have done, you have too many enemies. But I'm pretty much indestructible now. So you don't have to worry, Dad. Come on, let's go home and see if I can fix dear old Mom. Which he nods, and he does leave with his own. Well, they drop him off near a place where they can go to the house. He basically calls Rios' number, aka Katsumi, as she answers. She goes, Izuku. He goes, Katsumi, calm down. I'm fine. Wait. Okay, you saw the video. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I should have. He goes, we'll talk about this later, okay? Just wait. She does not. I mean, she does not nod. She does say okay. So when he gets home with Hisashi, Inko there, Izumi and Izuku are just, they're not even they didn't send out anything, or even call the cops. So because again, Izumi, telling her no, we shouldn't. So yeah, but meets it's because it has been like a day or so. So yeah. So when Hisashi gets home, he says he's home, which Inko runs over, says Hisashi, basically, sweetie, you're home. Which this is the first time Izumi and Izuku are seeing their father. They ask Mom, who's this? And he goes, hey, this is your father, sweetie. Telling them. And then, Izuku's just leaning. I mean, he's able to make his own clothing from nanotechnology, so And Ingo goes like, who's this? Sweetie goes like, oh, this is. I mean, before he can says Zuku, he goes, Alt. They're like, which Inko's like, huh? Alt? He goes, yeah. It's short for something. Don't worry. Anyways. Sashi, didn't you say you had 3 children? He goes, yeah. They go like, where's Izuku? He asks. And Izumi says, oh, don't worry, Dad. He's just out. I mean, didn't you heard he was quirkless, so why should you care? Which Izuku can see something coming off of Izumi. A invisible wave of, well, you could say it's telekinesis, but Izuku knows what's gonna happen, so he goes over to Asashi, touch him on the shoulder, and, well, Asashi just looks and goes like, don't ever call your brother useless, young lady. Which, she's just thinking, what? And then he goes over to Inko. He goes, Miss Midoriya, it's a pleasure, to talk to you. Your husband's talked so much. Which he has his hand out, and when, she touches her hand, ooh, Inko telekinesis Izumi to the wall and keeping her mouth shut, including Izuku. Which Hisashi is not even. But he's not even upset. Legit, she just yells at them for being so horrible siblings to their brother. That they were supposed to be older, the older siblings, and protect him, not to treat him like he was nothing more than useless trash. Which Izumi tries to talk, and she goes, I am not ever allowing you to talk. And she looks at Hisashi. Hisashi does nod. He calls up the Hero Commission, telling them to bring quirk canceling, you know, necklaces, not necklaces, cuffs, or well, actually chokers, basically. And they're shocked to hear this, as both of them, well, they had to wait for at least an hour. And when the Hero Commission's scientists get there, they ask, "What do you want, Mister? Midoriya?" He goes, "Put the Mister, Blackstar." He was like, "Put these on my two children's necks," which they nod, and they do. After he tells Inko to let go, she does, and Izumi tries to use telekinesis on Inko. Nothing happens. Izuku can use his quirk as well. They both look at each other, and at both Inko and Hasashi, and ask what you do to us. And well, Inko says, "Easy, we take your quirks away," which both of them are shocked. And then he looks at Izuku like, "Can you?" He goes, "Simple enough." He goes over to Izumi and to Uzuko, and legit touches both of their shoulders, and they feel a sharp pinch into their backs as he just says, "It's done." They can no longer use their quirks, even with the quirk canceling necklace. Even if they take it off, they will never be able to use or even gain quirks again. Remember, Ultron has been around for a while, so he knows about All for One. So, basically, Izuku, since he has a super brain, he's able to make a formula to, then he can basically inject it into them. Remember, nanites, and along with 3D printing, he's able to do it. Don't question. Whereas Izumi asks, why? Why does she have to be quirkless? Useless? Izuku is just broken, and then Inko says, "You two don't even deserve to be heroes. You two are nothing more than villains. As a mother, I am very, very disappointed in both of you, and I'm not gonna tell you to leave or be cast out. Neither would your father, but as both an ex-pro hero and the current number one hero of the world," which they both look at as Hasashi, and they both look back at Inko. They say that she never told them. It's like, "I told you your father was a hero. I just never said what ranking." So, and basically Hasashi does say, as a hero, you're supposed to protect everyone, including quirkless. Besides, your own brother could have more potential to become the first ever quirkless person, to be stronger than most people with quirks. But you're lucky. Someone that is my enemy found Izuku when in his time of need. Which basically Inko says, "I never told the cops that he went missing." And well, Ult basically laughs and he goes, "Allow me to, well, show you." As through his eyes, basically an holographic image of Izuku and Ultron and the Avengers, the Teen Avengers, Vision, and then the old Avengers, and what Izuku looks like. They're shocked to see that this is Izuku. And he goes, "So, how, so, mother, I mean, mom, I know as then she just hugs him right away, crying, like, Yeah, Uzumi really did control Inkov a lot with her mutant slash quirk. As she does apologize. I mean, he just says, "Hey, you never hit me, so you just neglected me." I mean, unlike these guys, and Bakugo, Katsumi was probably the same thing with her. Well, actually, wait. He tells his mom to let go. He goes like, "Mom, do you even know who your great grandfather is?" He goes, "No." He goes, "Charles Xavier, a mutant. The X-Men, the leader of them. One more like the professor of them, Professor Xavier." Which she does remember hearing that name, and then she realized. She goes, "Wait, why are you?" He was like, "He's your great 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 grandfather. So technically, your quirk is a hybrid between a mutant gene and a quirk, along with Izumi's. So I guess you got the telekinesis, while she has more of the mind manipulation and telekinesis." Which Izumi thinks to herself, "Okay, that's cool, but shit, I was controlling them. I thought they just listened to me because I was." And now she feels horrible because she controlled some of her friends, people she thought that actually liked her. They might have not liked her now or at all, or she never even had any friends. Basically, then she says, "Wait, Eugene, does that mean I still?" He goes, "Oh no, no, that's serum I injected into both of you. That gets rid of everything. It's a part of your quirk too. So yeah, you're just regular old quirkless people. Have fun trying to be being the first ever quirkless duo. Well, I am bioorganic. Anyways, I gotta go talk to Katsumi. She's probably panicking." Which I think was like, "Oh, sweetie, I want to tell you something. Well, before you left, when you were ever gonna come down for dinner. I mean, I know I neglected you, but beforehand, um, well, when you and Katsumi and, Katsuki were friends, I, I kind of arranged a marriage." Which Izuku was like, "Huh? Wait, what? Who? Katsumi and you?" He's like, "Nani? What? Me and Katsumi. Arranged marriage? Forced marriage, though?" And she does say, "Arrange, forced, whatever you want to say," which Izuku, Deku, Izuku is like, Izuku was like, "Wait, what?" Basically, and Izuku was just like, "Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go over to her." He's just walking towards the door. He's like, "Okay, so, um, yeah, I'm gonna tell her about her," as he points to, Izumi. "And I'm gonna beat the living shit out of her brother." So, which he looks at his dad. He was like, "Do I have?" He was like, "It's not a quirk. Go ahead, beat his ass, make me, and don't hold back." He's like, "Gotcha." So he leaves. He goes to Baku's residence, and well, we just tell he now. But basically, though, we're gonna go to Baku's residence after this little scene, which Hasashi and Inko look at both of them, and they tell them they're grounded with no technology, paper, pencil, only allowed to use technology when they have schoolwork. And there's which basically he when Inko said they don't deserve to be heroes, Hasashi agrees. So they can try to be heroes, but they will never be in class 1A, which they were happy to hear, but then saddened by that. And they will be in class 1B, that's the only way they'll ever get in. And it doesn't even have to be a UA. Hisashi was never around because of his dangerous enemies would want to kill his family. So he didn't come home because of this. He was trying to protect them. And he was always busy. So he has no right, he doesn't have no right, but Inko agrees. Hold on. They can't be going class 1A. They won't, even they try to, she won't let them. She's even lucky enough to let them try to redeem themselves to even get into a hero school. So yeah, so now we go over to the Bakugo residence. Izuku rings the doorbell. And when he does, Katsumi answers. And she goes, hello? Who are you? He's like, Katsumi, it's me. She goes, who? He was like, give me a minute. He shapeshifts back into his old self, then shapeshifts back. He goes, look, here's the thing. He just shows her the memories of what happened to him and how he became this way. She immediately hugs him, and she cries, and he goes like, give me, you give me a minute on this. He hugs her, and then, well, she felt, like, how can I say this? Izumi control over people, there was always a weird feeling. Like, it was always like whatever she said, they always were influenced. So, because Kasumi was influenced by her, and now it's gone, she feels a little bit more, well, like herself. And she tells him to come on in. Mitsuki sees him along with her husband and Bakugo, which, well, Mitsuki asks, who is this? And Izuku's like, it's me, Auntie. It's Izuku. Don't ask how I changed, just know I did. My quirk, well, it's not really a quirk because I'm technoganic, and that's besides the point. You'll find out soon. Which Bakugo's like, huh? Deku? Why? I was all of a sudden, he just looks at Bakugo's like, you shut up. Alright. So, Auntie, I know about the marriage, arranged, force, whatever you want to call it. I'm not staying back in my place. So, my dad's home, by the way. #1 hero of the world. Blackfire, who knew? Which Mitsuki does know, which Bakugo's like, he was like, oh, yeah, Bakugo, your girlfriend, she's quirkless. Which Bakugo just looks at him and was like, huh? How? No, she had a quirk. He goes like, call her. Oh, wait, no, she probably lost technology. So, go over. After I whoop you, I beat some sense into you. Which Bakugo snickers and thinks this nerd. And he immediately disappears from Bakugo's sight, grabs him by his neck, goes outside, and puts him down in the road, which Mitsuki, her husband, and Katsumi run out. And Bakugo's like, how the? He goes like, come on, throw the biggest explosion you have at me. Let's see what you got. He goes, alright. So he just runs over to Izuku, starts throwing explosions. And, and they're pretty powerful ones, which then Katsumi's thinking, oh no, he's dead, which Mitsuki's about to say something until they hear Izuku was like, man, you didn't even leave a scratch on me. Oh well. Now it's my turn. And, well, Bakugo sees death for a few short minutes until he's knocked out. Yeah, Izuku did not hold back. So imagine this. He basically did Star Platinum's aura, like scene. Multiple punches, basically, how they... I forgot who he did it to, but it was like a stand that basically, when a person gets hurt, it's affected... They affect that other person. So, yeah. that one. Yeah, Bakugo's knocked out, and he basically walks back over to them. He's like, "So, can we talk?" Mitsuki and her husband nod. They tell Izuku what they were thinking and all that, and they'll arrange it. So basically, Katsumi, Izuku get a place. Since they're not old enough to afford, get a job yet, Hasashi's paying for it. And well, Katsumi and Izuku are in the new house. Everything's there, and they're just sitting on the couch right next to each other. And she goes, "So, um, he goes, look, I'm willing to do this and give you a chance, alright? Since, well, it does look like you're sorry, and I tell your voice, I can always just read your mind too by just touching your forehead, so it doesn't really matter to me, but, you know, I'm willing to give you a chance to fix everything, alright?" Well, she does nod. And she tells him, "Thank you so much. You never will, regret this." And he goes, "Yeah, but it's gonna take time for me to trust you, okay?" She does nod. And, well, that's what they do for the 10 months. He helps her train and study, along with going on dates and fixing their relationship. Even though she's, Rias, and he did care for Rias, he did care for Rias, but now knowing she is Katsumi, it's the trust he had for Katsumi and the trust he had for Rias were two different things. He didn't know they're both the same people, so it's confusing for him. But he's learned to trust her, seeing that, well, she is like Rias. Well, she is Rias, but she's shown her personality more as Rias than as the Bakugo Katsumi he knew her as. So yeah. But anyways, this is already in almost an hour 30 minutes, so I'm gonna get going, everyone. Just know, no. First off, let me just say this. So that's what they do for the 10 months, as they're both in front of UA. And so he looks at her and goes like, "You ready for the entrance exam?" She goes, "Never been ready. But never been more ready." And that's where we're leaving off. Alright? Like I said, it's almost an hour 30 minutes. I did took a nap earlier, so maybe I'm up all night. So hope you guys have a nice day, night, wherever you are. Bye everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed this what if.